Welcome to the Tiffany Micah podcast. What we do here is build the strength and courage in you to accomplish your big dreams and goals in your sport. No longer will you feel limited. You won't feel you're not good enough. You won't question whether you will make it. Those doubts will disappear because you will have the competitive edge over your opponents and leave them in your wake. And the bonus is others will notice. Listen up and take notes because I will show you exactly how to do it. Hey there, Tiff here. Welcome to the Tiffany Micah podcast. Now, if you've signed up for the Successful Athlete Masterclass, which is free, by the way, you get a questionnaire from me. I actually send a questionnaire out to you via email, or I even send a video out to you, me saying hello to you, asking what your biggest frustrations are when you're competing in your sport. And what I'm talking about here is the mental frustrations that you are actually experiencing. So these are quite common responses that I get from athletes. And you may be experiencing the same thing here, but I just want to share with you what the most common responses are. So being self-conscious, having doubts, lack of self-belief, struggling with high pressure, fear of making mistakes, fear of giving up, fear of not giving your all, fear of getting it wrong, looking bad when playing, fear of letting the team down, not performing to the best of your ability, getting highly emotional when competing, especially when you lose, getting stressed, etc. Right? So there's quite a number of things that going on here. And all of these athletes who respond, they all play different sports, yet they're all experiencing the same thoughts, they're experiencing the same feelings towards their sport. So what does this show us as athletes? As athletes, it shows us that we're going through the same thoughts, we're going through the same emotions, we're going through the same feelings. And as human beings, we go through the same thoughts and we go through the same feelings and the same emotions. However, what it also shows us is that on our own individual personal take on what is going on, we have our own particular viewpoints on them because we have our own particular viewpoints on what's going on because of our past experiences in these sports, in these situations that we've encountered. Now, if we've encountered these situations often enough, we tend to find we respond the same way each time. We create a pattern of responses, and we create a pattern of responses typical for that event that is happening in our sport. So let me simplify this for you. What it means is if you are having doubts about how you play or perform a skill in your sport, these doubts are these thoughts that you've created. So thoughts such as, I always stuff up this shot, or I always miss the second shot, or I can't trap that ball, or I can't kick the ball to Shelley. I always hit the ball into the water. Then what that situation that comes up again and again, you tend to respond the same way again and again and again. So if you say, I always stuff up this shot, or I can't kick that ball to Shelley the way I like, or I can't trap that ball, or I always miss the second shot, or I always hit this ball into the water, then what's happening is you're looking at the past events, those past things that have occurred, as in the last time you've performed that skill, for example. It didn't work, so we assume that it's not going to work again. And you might say, oh, come on, Tiff, look, I'm trying really hard. Of course, I know what you're talking about. Of course I'm, using my thought processes and I'm trying really hard to do the right thing. But what's happening is you go into that automatic mode, that subconscious takes over, and you still end up with the same result. But I want to pose this to you. What if you had a different approach? How could we approach it differently? Well, this is going to be my mission from this point forward. I'm going to take you on a journey that highly likely you haven't been on this journey before. And I will tell you now, this is not for the faint-hearted. What we're actually going to be doing, and I'll be on this journey with you because I'm going to take you on it as well, because I'm going to do it. So I'm like, if I'm doing it, you're coming with me. This is what we're going to be doing. We're going to be working on rewiring our brain into changing the way that we look and perceive the world. This is how we're going to gain the mental edge. Because what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be looking at how we can change your current reality. And I want you to be thinking that your current reality of where you are in the world right at this moment is a mirror of you. It's mirroring how you show up in the world, and it's mirroring that by the collection of thoughts and experiences that you have accumulated so far in your life and in your sport. So do not be afraid, because I'm going to hold your hand every step of the way, because I'm going to go on this journey with you like I've just mentioned before. We're going to do it together. We're going to experience it together. Because if you don't like where you are in your life, you don't like with where you are at in your sport, highly likely you are unhappy within. I get it. You want to get more out of you when you compete. I get that too. And you want to play better in your sport. I get that as well. Then it's highly likely that you have some things that are blocking you. The problem is, you're like, oh yes, Tiff, yeah, I've got some things that are blocking me. But you may not know what these blocks are yet. And I've been going through the same thing. I'm starting to discover what my blocks have been. But what you'll discover as you go through this, just like I'm going to do it too, is that we're going to discover what's been blocking you from really getting what you want to accomplish in your life and in your sport. And I'm not going to tell you that I've got all the answers, because I don't. I don't have all the answers. All I'm doing with you is I'm taking you on a journey of you being more open, discovering how you can be better. Because I've worked out things along the way. I've worked out things that work quite well. I've worked out things that don't well. And I've given you strategies. I've given you tips to help you in your sport and in your life. But I feel now that it's time to take it much further in our sports journey. We've got to take it much further in the life journey as well. Because remember, you're not just an athlete, you're a human being. So how you are in your sport's going to be how you are in your life. And it's time to strip away all those thoughts, all those disappointments, all those fears that are holding us back from accomplishing what we truly want in our life, especially in our life. And obviously, because you're here listening to me, it's also stripping away the thoughts, the disappointments, the fears that are holding you back from accomplishing what you want in your sport. If you come on this ride with me, I have faith that things will change for you for the better. But the place that we're going to go to will be different for each one of us, depending on how we approach what I'm going to be sharing with you in these lessons. There's going to be a number of lessons that are going to be following. And you will be challenged by what you believe. You'll be challenged by what you think, and so will I. I'm coming on it with you, okay? We're going to do this together. And sometimes it won't make sense. So either at times, but I want you to be open, and I want you to have faith. So it won't make sense at times for us. But just be open and just have faith. I want you to go through the process, just like you're learning a skill in your sport. You're going through a process of learning. Okay, that's what we're going to be doing. Because I want you to understand this. If things are not working for you now, then they won't continue to work for you, because the universe is saying to you, you know what, Rebecca, it's time to change. You know what, Brenda, it's time to change. You know what, Jose, it's time to change. It's time to make a change. And I had that happen recently. I've shared with you, my 5 major lessons about turning 50. I've shared with you about my fears about turning 50. And what happened last month, I talked about turning 50. And when we went away for a holiday, because our original plan was to go to Canada and Hawaii to celebrate, unfortunately, the coronavirus changed that for all of us. Then we had another plan of going to northern Queensland from here in Australia, but then the border closed. So we went to northern New South Wales. Now, I spent my whole time when I was away feeling really awful. I felt awful inside. I had all these worries in my head. I had all these concerns, frustrations. I had all these fears about the future. And I felt like the whole time we were away for about a week and a half, I felt like spent the whole time screaming at myself on the inside with all these fears, frustrations about the future, worries and concerns about what's going to happen. Not so much with the coronavirus. I'm just talking about in my space, where I'm at in my world. And I kept screaming at myself the whole time I was awake and saying, come on, Tiff, you've got to be happy. You should be appreciating being away. A lot of people don't get to do this. You should be having fun. You should be doing this. You should be doing that. And because I wasn't having fun when I was away, I wasn't relaxing. I wasn't in a state of peace of mind. I wasn't happy within. And even my hubby and we weren't wanting to do the same things when we were away either. I didn't want to do the things he wanted to do. He didn't want to do the things I wanted to do. And then I was really worried about that, we were drifting apart. And so that was just another worry on top of all the other worries that I had. And what I said to myself when we got home was, even though I was trying really hard to enjoy myself and I wasn't, and I was really unhappy, and I'm sharing this with you because at times we do feel that way. We should be appreciating where we are, and we get to, and people say you should feel successful. That's what my husband kept saying. You are successful. I was like, no, I don't feel successful, but you are. And it's because of where my headspace was. And it has been for a number of years. And I'm sharing this with you because I don't want you to feel that you're on your own feeling these thoughts. Okay? So I'm giving you everything of what I was going through at that time. Being away, should have enjoyed being on a holiday, didn't enjoy it. Tried so hard to enjoy myself, but because I was mentally screaming at myself all the time of, what's the future going to look like? You don't want to go back to the same things that you're doing. You want to make changes. What is it that you're going to change? I don't know how I'm going to change it. There was all these things going on in my head all the time, and I kept going on these long walks to try and settle myself down. But I found that wasn't making any difference. But when we returned home, because I was like, I survived. When we returned home, I thought, I am never, ever going to put myself in that situation again to feel like that. I didn't want to go through that array of emotions I was going through, because I had super highs, super lows, and everything in between. Disappointments, fears, joy, happiness, sadness, tears. And I didn't want to go through that array of emotions again, being on a holiday that I should have been enjoying, but I wasn't enjoying it because I was so caught up in my lack of achievements. I was so caught up in not clear about my future. I was so caught up in worrying about the financial future of where we were headed, where the world's headed. I was so caught up in not accomplishing the goals that I wanted to accomplish. I was so caught up in, oh gee, you know, is my relationship with my husband now falling apart, and so on. My husband commented a number of times when we were away about how edgy I was. And I thought it was him. But it wasn't, it was me. It was me that was so edgy when we were away. And I just want to make this point clear, is that your world is a mirror of your inner thoughts. So me being edgy, I was projecting that outward. I was projecting that out to my husband. I was projecting how uncomfortable I was in everything when we were away. So just remember that your world is a mirror of your inner thoughts. And what I discovered was that I was acting from a place of fear. When we were away, I was acting from a place of fear. It highlights more so when, and you might find this too, it highlights more so when you're having a break. All these things start coming up. Because when you are working on accomplishing your goals, when you are, you know, if you're like me, working, or if you like yourself, you might be at school still, or you might be working and you're working on your goals. You're so busy being busy doing things that your mind is constantly focused on what's next, what have I got to do next. When you step away from what you're doing in your life and you take a break, things really start to uncover. And that was what was happening. Things were really starting to uncover or come about that have been suppressed for quite some time. And I discovered what was happening is I was acting from a place of fear. My whole life of everything that I've done has been acting from a place of fear. Fear of failure, fear of not surviving, fear of not being able to accomplish goals, fear of rejection, fear of losing, right? Fear of everything in my life. And I thought, my God, I do not ever want to be in that place, because I noticed that those types of things kept coming up. Again, it was a pattern. Every time I took a break over the years, those types of things kept coming up. Fear of failure, fear of not surviving, fear of having to do the same thing over and over again. And I was just like, you know, it's time to change. Now, I believe that for you to perform the way that you really want to perform in your sport, then we have to unblock what is holding you back. And what is holding you back, that's what we're going to uncover along the way. That's where we're going to be heading. And for you to really perform and really compete the way that you want to compete in your sport, then we have to come from a place of a calm mind. And when we're in a calm, like in a place of calm, or we're calm within, everything flows so much better. You've felt that, haven't you? Like that feeling of when you're in that zone, like everything just happens. We're in a much clearer state. There's not so many thoughts going off in our head. It's that beautiful zone, that flow. Everything just comes together. It's beautiful. I love that state. That's where we're aiming. But what we've got to do is we've got to start unblocking what's going on. So if you're ready, then we're going to take this journey together, and we're going to start on lesson 1. So lesson 1 may not yet be up, but when it is, make sure you start on lesson 1. We're going to go through the process together. And you might be thinking, oh, Tiff, you know, come on, this is a whole load of baloney. Just give me the strategies. Give me the actions. This is it. This is going to be the strategy. This is going to be the actions. I'm going to take you all the way through it because I'm going to go on it myself. I've already started it, but I'm going to take you with me because of what I've already discovering right now. Quite a number of lessons in where I'm going to take you. You're going to start noticing some shifts happening, and they're going to be good. It's going to be positive. It's going to make a difference. So if you're not yet ready, I understand, but I'm here when you are ready. Okay? I just want to let you know. But if you are ready, then we're going to do this together. And we all do things when the time has come for us to be ready. So like I said to you, this turning 50 for me has been a huge shift, huge change in my life. Not as big as I thought it was going to be. It's much bigger. It's much bigger. And I want to take you on this so that I don't want you to get to 50. You might be older than me listening, but you'll get it. But if you get to 50, I don't want you to feel those feelings that I was feeling. I want to get you out of those, unblock you, so that you are working from a peace of mind. So you're much calmer within when you're competing. You're much calmer within as a human being in your life, so that you're really accomplishing everything that you want to accomplish, but from a different mindset, okay? So we all do things when the time has come. My time is now, so that's why I'm taking you with me. And I feel that it's time to make these changes. I feel that it's time to rewire our brain. And I look forward to you being part of this journey. So like I said before, lesson 1, if it's not up yet, it's coming out very soon, depending on when you're listening to this episode. So all I ask of you is to be open. All I ask of you is to have faith in the process. And then let's see where we end up. I look forward to taking you on this journey with me. This is just the first step. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Love it if you could share with me what you like best about what you heard today. If you've got friends that you know that would benefit from these episodes, please share these episodes with your friends, because we want to be out there unblocking what's holding us back so that we're accomplishing everything that we've ever wanted in our lives. So I want you to dream big, believe in you, go after your dreams. Take care. Talk soon. Before you go, do you have a free copy of my book, Focus: How to Reach Potential in Sport, Business and Life? To get your free copy, go to tiffanymica.com/free book. Look forward to seeing you there. Dream big, believe in you, go after your dreams.